Mic check, mic check. Mother Masters podcast. Yours made of course. Got a special guest across me, Miss Kiammie. That's correct, right? Kiammie.
Yes.
Kiammie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. First and foremost, thank you for coming to the show. I'm gonna clap real quick for you. Oh, my phone was off. There we go. All right. So this month, I kind of got a theme going on this month where I'm only interviewing women because it's National Women's History Month. And I know last year I wanted to do something like that, but I didn't get to do how I wanted to do it because I work in retail, and it got like during this time it gets super busy.
Yeah.
And I had a whole different mission back then, so I was doing something different. And now I got the time, and I want to set a lot of time aside to make sure I'm doing the things I want to do. So I don't know if you've seen that post and that's how you reached out. I'm not really sure. We'll get to that in a second. But I know all month is all women. So I don't know what they do. I don't really, as long as it's interesting to me, I want to have them on. So when I had the farming lady on, which is Brandy Wallace, when I had her on, that wasn't about the Women's Month. We just had to wait a second before I put that one out because I wanted to make sure everything was clear.
Got it.
Because I know farming is kind of, I don't know that business, but from what I'm hearing, it's a lot of politics involved in that, especially when I guess they look like you and me.
Oh, it's a lot of politics, and I tend to step more on that side. But yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I kind of sense that a little bit. So I guess without further ado, let's start here. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Not necessarily what you do, but just where you from. I want to kind of get to know you a little bit before we start to get into what you do. But like, you from here? Are you from Augusta? Like,
Negative. I'm from South Alabama.
why you said negative like that? why was your negative so strong when you was you from here?
Because I'm from South Alabama. I like Augusta. I have a soft spot for Augusta. So my daughter was born here, so I was stationed here.
Okay, military. Mm-hmm. So before I get to military, tell me a little about you said South Alabama?
Yep.
So is that
it's close to Panama City, about maybe from Augusta to like Columbia. So that's how close we are to Panama City.
Okay.
So I'm in the Panhandle region.
So how close is that to South Alabama to college?
Oh, that's on the other side. That's going towards Mississippi, which is like Mobile area.
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama. Okay, yeah.
So I think Mobile is about 2.5, maybe 3 hours.
How big is Alabama?
It's a pretty big state.
Yeah. It's a few states. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not doing this your hometown. I know I can tell you love it. The way you said no, negative. That negative told me everything I need to know about you. You love Alabama, but I've always been just me myself. I can't speak for anybody else. A little bit, I'm gonna say scared a little
hesitant.
bit.
You're very not hesitant. The only one.
Alabama, Mississippi. All right, 2 states. I can do without going to just because of the movies I've seen. I'm big in like watching civil rights movies. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I see a movie from Alabama or Mississippi, it's something racial there, so I always stay away.
But you know what's crazy? And I want you to do this when you get a chance and take your daughters as well. There's a museum in Montgomery, Alabama, which is the capital, which people call the Gump. And it's called the Legacy Museum. And you'd be surprised how many more lynchings Georgia has than Alabama. Alabama was only the front runner for the civil rights movement. So, of course, it looks bad, but I can assure you it is not as racist as this great state of Georgia.
Well, I want to clap it up for you for definitely defending Alabama.
Now, I grew up in South Georgia as well. My mama's side is Alabama. My daddy's side is Georgia. So I grew up in both states.
Yeah.
Both southern regions of the states.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I would be scared of Georgia as well if I had seen a lot of movies and they said it was in Georgia. Right. It just so happens the top-notch movies. So they say art imitate life sometimes. So when you think about Mississippi Burning, just I can't think of too many
Mississippi.
Alabama. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Emmett Till.
Pretty much blank Mississippi is always scary. And then Emmett Till, I got a lot. Now I think about it, yeah.
Check out Florida. Rosewood. I think it's
they make up in Florida.
Oconee.
They make up for it with beaches.
Alabama has some of the most beautiful beaches too.
The most beautiful beach I ever seen is Destin.
It's right by Alabama, but you got Gulf Shores and stuff like that. You got to see it. Yeah, Georgia and Florida kind of get swept under the rug for their foolishness, but they're ridiculous. It's ridiculous once you really get down to the meat of it. Yeah. Alabama's just like the redheaded stepchild,
I'll definitely do my research and looking into. So I got a book that I read, and you're right, there's a lot in Georgia because the person who owns this company right here, his name is Quintessential Designs. He gave me a book a couple years ago. I didn't get back to him because a lot of scribble in them, so I didn't want to get back to him until I bought another one. And it's been like 3 years now, but he ain't saying nothing about it, so I ain't saying about it, And it's called The Lynchings might have been just of Georgia, honestly. Pretty thick book, right? For no reason, they just lynched me for one reason, But
yeah.
So I agree, to that point. So yeah, I guess I get what you're saying. I probably should be more scared here, but for some reason, the world has told me to be more scared there.
Media perception, that's all.
That is funny.
Programming.
The last guest I had on, she was from Alabama. I had an author on. Shout out to Miss Olivia Gaines. And I asked her, how did it feel to be from there when given the history? Like, because Alabama come with that history, Whether it's sports, and racial stuff, it don't matter, and some other stuff as well, it's a multitude of things. And she said, well, it's history everywhere. And she also said, think about this, I didn't want to ever go to New York. That's where I'm from. And I'm like, well, I can see y'all's perception, and I'm saying y'all like people who ain't been there, like I haven't been there, the perception of one place based on movies and books.
And what you're being told.
And what you've been told. Or what's been out there that has reached you. Because there's probably a lot of positive things about Alabama that just ain't reached me.
Yeah.
So I definitely see that. It's all perception and it's definitely perspective. But you get a real good glimpse of perspective if you go there. So
yeah, and it's called Alabama's actually has one of the most diverse ecosystems in the country, and they actually call it the Little Rainforest of America. Hence the term Alabama the Beautiful. My state is beautiful, ugly soul, but it's a beautiful state.
It's like most humans. So
Yeah, tell me about it.
So tell me about how was it growing up there? How was it growing up in Alabama for you?
It was very interesting because where I grew up is a very small kind of hick town. Cotton peanuts. We're in the peanut capital of the country. We even have a festival called the National Peanut Festival. It's a big deal. And
never heard of it. See that? I never heard of that. So I'm hearing about all the other stuff, but not that. Okay, gotcha.
It's a big deal. Peanuts, cotton, corn, a lot of cotton.
All right, now see, cotton and corn.
Yeah. I was the only little speck of pepper sometimes. Well, oftentimes I would say in certain settings. So I would say I grew up in the gray. So which meant I could see the wrong white people did and the wrong black people did. And because I was the weird one, I got ostracized by other melanated people, which kind of sucked. So I kind of leaned more towards the white side, but I still understood that what I was to them as well. So it's kind of like you're just floating in the gray. You're just in the gray area. So it was very interesting growing up. I had a few racial incidents growing up. The biggest one was when I got to see some unsettling things in regards to the Klan. So they were going to poison our football team. One time I used to be one of maybe 2 black cheerleaders on the squad as Pee-wee from Pee-wee to 12th grade year with like a 2-year break. And I remember seeing something burning on the way in, and my mom tried to put my head down, and I was like, no. And so she was like, all right, you know what? You need to see it. So we were warned not to go off anywhere. And of course, me being a nature baby, I saw the playground there, and the playground just happened to be kind of positioned off in the woods. And I don't know what the cop seen. It's a white cop. I'm still in touch with him to this day. Whatever he saw caused him to have a certain reaction, and he yoked me up from behind, and he started running from behind with me. So I don't know what he saw in the woods. We can only, I think you can deduce who was in the woods. Right. So it wasn't like heavy. Some people would say certain stuff, but it'd mostly be the girls because the guys kind of liked me and they didn't like that. So they say something and I check them and, go on. There were micro aggressions. but I didn't really get to see a lot. But I learned from the elders. So like as a child, I would sit under the elders and they told me about these trees. I actually did a poem at open mic night a couple of months ago in Augusta. About
Icons? Icons?
No, at Back to Nature Garden Center.
Okay.
And it's called Secrets of the Trees. So the trees on our square where everybody meets for every daggum thing. And we have this big thing called Harvest Day during the fall. And the trees were the hanging trees in town. And so they would shut the town down, which they still do, at noon. And watch our people be home on the trees. And I knew this as a child. So imagine having to go to all this stuff. And then you mad because you know what's up. You know, but everybody else doesn't know what's up. And, you know, I got called crazy as a child. And I still get called crazy, which now I don't care. You know, I didn't care then either. So it was just a few things, but I learned history from the elders, like certain spots that wouldn't let us in and, you know, stuff like that until 87. I was born in 87, so I was like, wow. But as far as that, no, I felt it more in Georgia, like when I'd go visit my daddy. So my mama's side is kind of like the bougie side, I guess you could say, like the doctors, the lawyers, you know, debutante
Successful.
ball. Yeah, debutante ball, even though I turned it down, which was not cool for my folks. But my daddy's side is where I get the countryside from. My daddy's super country. He's a survivalist. He's a farmer, all of that. So going to South Georgia, I don't know if you ever heard of like Albany, Georgia.
Yeah.
So kind of over in that cut, and it's almost like stepping back in time. It is stepping back in time. I will say that. So I felt it over there because it was more segregated. So where I grew up, we hung with white folks. If like it was a riot or something, like another school trying to fight us, we'd all be fighting together. It wouldn't be like
White and black?
Oh yeah. Even teachers used to come out the bleachers. So we had to fight a school in Mobile. They were kind of rough. I don't know if you heard of Mobile, but it's a little rough.
My brother played ball out there. They are,
yeah. They had FAMU colors. I can't remember the name of that school, but they were rough. And they rode our bus, tried to fight us, all kind of stuff. So we kind of stuck together in that aspect. And bonfires, we hung out, all that type of stuff. But South Georgia, my cousins were like in shock that I hung with white people. It was more segregated. So they kind of like shuffled them into like the county schools and then the white kids off into like academies that were positioned in the country. So,
that's what I was going to ask. I didn't want to cut you off because you kind of set the tone right there too, just with you know your upbringing and kind of your ideology on some things you may say or how you feel. And it makes sense too. Sometimes like I know like for me, I didn't go to school a lot of white people until I came down to Georgia. So you are right in that aspect. I also seen the segregation part, not that it was segregated law wise, but just in who you hung with. Like my first day down here, I remember watching and I'm like, okay, that's the jocks. They got, but you got the white jocks and you got the basketball players, you know what I'm saying? Then you got the gothic or whatever, I would say different people. I don't want to say gothic, but different people with trench coats and stuff like that. 90 degrees, but whatever. And I saw it and I never saw it before. It seemed like I was in a Disney movie. I'm like, oh, this is what I be seeing in the movies. Cause then, cause it's a melting pot. Everybody together, you just throw it's gumbo. And so when you say like, this is more racist than that, or this is, I kind of could see that even in your answer because you were around both really. You got to see earlier. You just said one of the things I think I like the most. You say I got to see the white people's wrongdoing and the black people's wrongdoing as well. And I think a lot of times we don't look at the wrongdoing from our own. We just see what the oppressive side, and we just like to fight and combat that. But you got to see both sides. So even coming up, you got to kind of move smarter than both sides. You know?
Imagine playing chess on both sides and you're the only one, I wasn't the only one. There was a few of us that were able to navigate in that gray area.
Yeah.
And but I got ostracized more. It was more, I think the white side was taken aback that I guess had the gall to say something. And then the black side was like, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? So I'm still in that space, even now.
How does that feel like sometimes, I don't know if you even care, but just how does it feel when maybe, I hate to use the word because I don't know if you're saying this word, but to not necessarily be accepted by your own, like, it's not saying that they don't accept like you're not black, but just kind of like we iffy about you?
I actually had a homestead meetup about 3 weeks ago, and a lady that came asked me that, and that day I broke down because it was, I don't know what, we had the ceremony at a river, and I broke down, and I couldn't even really answer it for her because she already knew, like she could already tell, and it used to bother me, but I'm at a space now where I no longer care. Because I can't make you see what anything other than what you see, and I can't make you feel anything other than you feel, and that's your problem.
Right.
So for me, I'm pretty much a straight shooter. I move off spirit. I don't move off hue. You get messed up like that every time. So I move off the person's spirit, and that's just all to it.
Like delve into that a little bit. What you mean when you say that? Give me break that down a little bit for me.
When I say spirit, I move off of their energy. And if it's nasty, if it's negative, if it's backbiting, if it's any of that, I don't deal with you. And I used to let people like that in my space, but I found it to be very detrimental. So it hurts a little bit more when it's somebody that shares the same hue as you. But as the saying goes, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So
talk to him. Talk to him.
it is what it is. And I've been labeled when I was younger that I thought I was white, that I talked like a white girl, and all kinds of foolishness. And I'm like, I don't see what the problem is that I speak a certain way, or black people, it's not a monolith. Like, we're all different.
Right.
We all come from different areas. Like, I could be sitting next to somebody from Africa, from Haiti, from the Bahamas, and you don't see to the outside world it's just black folks, but you don't know that we're all from different areas, different dialects, different cultures. We just have that inner spirit that kind of connects us. But yeah, no, I don't
like
care
that,
anymore.
I like the whole, moving on spirit energy. That and I know a lot of times I've probably been one of them because I never lived that way. You get older and you start to make your own ideas, your own ideologies, your own way you gonna live. I remember being younger this time, one time, like, I don't want to talk all race stuff and we just talking. So just Alabama, so I had to bring up race. But I was telling mom, I got a white girlfriend. She was Puerto Rican. I didn't know no difference. I know she ain't my color. You know what I'm saying? But the next day, mom was like, "Oh, she's not white. She's Puerto Rican." I'm in her face like, But also just that, even that exchange kind of gives you like, okay, that's not a good thing then, because that wasn't the response you was expecting to hear. So like, okay, maybe that's a no. And then you start to move off your spirits or energy, and you start to say, well, you know what? I get this person is this color, this ethnicity.
Yeah.
But I like them.
But what have they done to you? That's what people fail to realize. Right. If they haven't caused you any harm, then why are you hating them? That's crazy. So I don't move like that.
And then, but then then it's like you will be trusting of one that you think is your own, and they'll set you up, and all that.
Backdoor you real quick.
So or they won't. Either way, you can't just go off that. So the energy, the spirit, I do like that mindset of like, let me feel you out, see if I like you. At least it ain't cause you this, it ain't cause you that. It's just cause something is telling me to stay away from you. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Your spirit is vexed. Your whatever you want to, if you call it the universe, the creator, the most high, your ancestors, something telling you, don't go that way. Just don't deal with them. And that's why I say you got to feel people, because people put up masks all the time.
Every day.
So
every day. I made a joke the other day. I don't know if you watch podcasts and not like that, but I always said these are new costumes, because even on here, people get on here and they talk things that they don't really believe. They talk things they don't even know. They give you stats and numbers and statistics, and they have no idea what they're talking about. And it's more, I feel like. But the clips is, it's this. And you got people getting information from people behind these microphones, and that's not even them. But that's in the hell there.
They're putting on stuff. I call it wearing stuff that don't belong to you.
Ooh.
Or you walking in somebody else's shoes. Yeah, there's a such thing as energy theft, or we call it spiritual hijacking.
Oh, hold on. Let me fit that button. Energy theft and spiritual hijacking. Talk about that. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Energy
Some people
theft.
wearing other folks' stuff right now. They just had the resources and the crowd to follow, but that's not their stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, spiritual hijacking sounds so sophisticated. That sounds so sophisticated. I'm gonna have to write that down. I like that. So you from Alabama. When did you migrate here, or how did you get here? But also, like, you go to school, college. Like, what was your like?
So, ironically, which I kind of pivoted all the way to the right, well, left. I went to I guess you could say a predominantly white high school, but I attended an HBCU.
Okay, you're trying to get a balance there. I see you.
Yeah, because at the time I felt like I got tired of drowning in a sea of white. And I wanted to go to a place of higher education with people that looked like me and to kind of get a feel for how that was. And man, it was an awesome experience. And I still got the balance of black and white because I worked at Abercrombie. So I worked at Abercrombie, and I was shocked they even hired me because of what I had heard before.
Was it a phone interview?
No, I went in totally dressed up, right? My buddy, who I'm still friends with to this day.
Like now? Dressed up like now?
No, like suit, like dressed up. And my buddy, who I'm still friends with now, she's actually German. We were like, what they used to call us, what is it, ebony and ivory? And so she and her sister came in totally flip-flops, just like, and all three of us got hired that day. And I was like, what in the heck? Because I thought it was an interview. So to me, I always was told to dress up. But I got hired, and it was a wild experience working for Abercrombie. So by virtue of working there, I met a bunch of people that were not melanated, but I also met people that went to. So I went to Alabama A&M University for food and nutrition, and then the other college students that worked with me went to UAH, which is the University of Alabama in Huntsville. So I actually dated a hockey player from Canada that went to UAH.
Let me tell you right now, you got an amazing story. Okay, you all over the place. All right, you all over the place.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini too, so I just like to flow. But yeah, so I still got a healthy balance of it. But it was awesome going to school with other black kids because I got to see the kids that were like me, that were the weirdos that were in the grade, that listened to country, rock, all this, that were super geniuses, like just not the norm of what we're supposed to look like. And it was an awesome experience going to Alabama A&M.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta ask you because I just gotta ask. Right? Where did you find a hockey player? Like, how did you find him?
I can't even remember how I met him, but he went to UAH, but he was a Sigma, so he was online with some of my buddies that went to Alabama A&M.
Interesting.
So he was in a black fraternity, but he was a hockey player from Canada. So
Canada. Okay.
I think Ontario. So, yeah, that was a cool experience. I learned a lot from him because he was Canadian too. So I was like, that's cool. I've always wanted to go to Canada, and I actually did in 2017.
Was he nice?
Yes,
They
it was
say
awesome.
all Canadians just like super nice.
Oh man, they were super nice. I have to tell you offline how how cool they were and giving. But they were super cool, freaking A, which I knew they would say that because he would say it all the time. We were at a ski resort. It was like a urban ski trip. So it was all black folks at the resort. Well, it wasn't all of us, but we came like, I want to say 20 buses deep. Flew into Detroit, drove into Canada. My cousin was actually working on the wind turbines that were, as we were going into Canada.
Okay.
He's a wind turbine tech. So when we got in, the Canadians joined us. They paid to come into the parties. We jammed out.
That's what's up.
It was cool because they had like a civil rights tour there too. So they had slave cabins up there as well and different things like that, which I wasn't shocked because I seen the same thing in Germany. Like I almost broke my neck when I was seeing it in Germany. I was like, wait, no, that can't be right. On the way to the concentration camp, I see a slave cabin. I was like, that's crazy. But yeah, so Canada was nice. If you get a chance, go. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really pretty.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Germany. So I know you would say you went to Alabama A&M, right?
So from Alabama A&M, I went into the Army as a cadet for the Green and Gold program. So
what made you go into? I'm just curious. What made you go to the Army? Because you went to Alabama and you said food and
nutrition.
You graduated.
Well, ran out of scholarships.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Making sure. Making sure.
Ran out of scholarships.
Making sure.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't on any patriotic stuff. Even though my granddad and uncles had fought. My granddad was in Vietnam, and I can't remember which one my uncle was in. And I actually got tired of the scene in Huntsville, and I went active duty.
Okay.
Changed my MOS, went active duty, went to Virginia, trained, and first place they sent me was Germany. And I was like, wait, like the country? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, nah. And they were like, yeah. Uncle Sam said, yeah. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to Germany. And so I flew into Frankfurt, and I ended up at the duty station my uncle was in like decades ago. And so stayed there for 3 years. Very interesting experience. Actually learned my last name is actually German, even though I was told it was like Spanish or something, but it's not. So yeah, I visited castles, been to Amsterdam, Prague, a few other places. I won't name them, Mike. And it was an awesome experience. It was very eye-opening because as a child, I always like envisioned, that was my plan, was to like graduate and backpack across Europe and then like just get stationed and get put in Africa, like just or somewhere tropical where I could just chill out. And so for me to end up going to Germany, it was wild. And I picked up on the language very easy because we had an exchange student in elementary school that everybody kind of picked at. Mm-hmm. But I asked him to teach me German so I could talk to him. Yeah. And we're actually still friends now.
That's what's up.
So I kind of picked up on it quick.
Okay.
So it was fun, man. It was wild.
Well, so I'm assuming at some point you come back to the States, right?
Came back to the States. I got stationed in Augusta.
Okay. Well, now, okay, I like that. That's how you got here. It was military. Okay.
That's how I got here.
Fort Eisen Gordon. I don't know.
Fort Gordon. Okay. I don't care what they done changed.
I don't even know anymore.
Fort Gordon.
Fort Eisen, Augusta State, Augusta AU. I don't know.
Yeah, they change up everything for different legal reasons, probably. But yeah. So I got stationed at Fort Gordon. When did I return stateside? 2010.
And you've been here ever since?
And no, I got out in 2013, and I went to, big mistake, but I learned a lot there too. I just feel like every part of the journey was like a lesson. Yeah. Moved outside of Atlanta to Gwinnett County. Didn't like it. Too many people, too expensive. It was annoying. Like, no. So I moved back to Alabama.
That you get that from the bougie side of your family, huh? You didn't like the city. You didn't like the city life.
Not really. I'm from a small town, so like I can go navigate the city, but then I need to go like regroup. And it's city life is different. City people are different too. So it's just, you want to be respectful in each space. And if I'm not comfortable in that space, it's just time to ride.
Sense. Make a lot of sense.
So I moved back home. Well, kind of close to home. I moved to our next biggest city, but it's still country. It's all outdoors. So, I moved there, and that's where I had my little boy in Alabama. So my daughter was born here while I was in the Army.
So you got one from Alabama and one from Augusta.
Yeah, one from Georgia, one from Alabama. So, I had my son there, and I stayed there to 2017. And then I moved back up to Gwinnett County, Beaufort, because my ex-partner was climbing cell phone tower. So that was like where he was at.
Gotcha.
And then after that, I moved back. So I did a lot of shuffling around. Yeah. In 2019, I was like, I need to get back to Augusta. Like I've been pretty much a few different places. So the south part of Georgia, the north part of Georgia, and I can't stand either one of them. So Augusta was a perfect fit for me. That's why I said I have a soft spot for Augusta.
What do you like about Augusta?
Like it's not too city for me. I think, the people that I made relationships with, like my daughter's godparents live up here. So, things of that nature. My ex-partner, he's from Augusta. So, yeah, he was here. So, it's like, it made sense. Made it back to good old Augusta.
Well, I think it's cool to start now. Now we know you, right?
Yeah, I think you know a lot now.
But I don't know how to ask this question because I mean you obviously are in. You got the jacket, you got the hat on, right? But I'm gonna ask anyway. Like, what do you do? What are you?
Okay, so recreationally, I like to ride horses. So I guess you could say a cowgirl, a real one, not the new thing they got going on online with the sparkly lady. But I like real trail rides, real cowboys, real cowgirls.
Like a Western film.
Huh?
Like a Western film. You really just riding a horse and around somewhere and stuff like that too.
Yeah. And I have buddies that ride. I got a lot of buddies that ride. Some of them host trail rides. So yeah, I took a roping class a couple months ago.
You even got this. You even got the voice down pat. Like now, you out of nowhere, you start to sound like a cowgirl. I don't know where
Really?
this come from. Maybe I'm just hearing it now. I
I
don't
don't know
Could be
because I
me.
think my drawl is gone though. I don't think I still have my drawl.
Gotcha.
So but what I do professionally, I'm an agricultural wellness consultant. So I can break that down for you.
I was about to say, hold on, you gotta. So I'm a little smart guy. I'm a little smart. I'm a little bit smart, right? I don't know what that means. So
Because
break it
it's
down.
never been. If you hear somewhere else, somebody jacked it.
Are
But
they spiritual jacking again?
yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
man.
I've
You
had a
gotta
lot
stop
of that happen.
man. So what you said that it was again, right?
Spiritual hijacking.
No, not that. You said you were
Agricultural
Okay, I'm gonna put
wellness
ag.
consultant.
Okay. All right. What is that?
So for the agricultural side, I focus on my specialization is in agritourism and agribusiness. So for the agritourism side, I could take say you got like 2 acres of land. You want to bring some revenue in besides just growing food. You you can put some animals out there. You could do a pumpkin patch and you can run it from I'd say about August to November, depending on how you want to do things. You could put a corn maze out there, just different things to bring people in, like different attractions, but like in a farm setting. So it generates more revenue than just regular farming.
But they would come to you and you would facilitate that, I guess.
Well, I go to them because I have a process where I walk the land. Because if I feel like something happened on the land, I won't walk it or I won't work with you. I'll find you somebody else to work with if it's too heavy for me to deal with.
Okay.
So I was invited to some land that a massacre happened on.
Oh.
Of us.
Okay, you said something happened. Okay, like
yeah.
an event.
So
okay,
if it's bad energy, I'll find you somebody to
so
work
you're not even
with.
chasing the dollar. You really just about energy for real.
No, I'm so serious about energy right now because a lot has happened. I'm
sorry. How would you know? Like, how do you know? Okay, a massacre happened here. Like, you go research it. Like, how do you know?
I don't. When I walked onto the land, I just kind of I started crying, and I didn't know why.
As soon as you walked on it.
Yeah, as soon as I stepped on it, and turns out they didn't really want ag help. They wanted another form of help. So I asked them what happened out there, and they told me that it was a massacre that happened. And I guess, I don't know, they said the spirits was messing with them. I was like, well, why did you call me out here?
Yeah.
And they were like, because you're a black woman. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I didn't do nothing. I was like, I got to get out of here. So
yeah, that sound kind of wild.
yeah, it was very wild because I felt like they kind of targeted me for that.
Is this a safe profession? Like, what
yes,
you do?
it's safe.
That
It's
seems so
safe.
dangerous.
No, it's safe. It's just I don't like dealing with certain land. Like another guy I knew in Georgia, he bought the land sight unseen, which I told him not to, and they sold him some trash land. Like it was super hilly and rocky. Like we had to do like raised beds out there, like everywhere. But yeah, so I'm funny about that. So no, I don't chase a dollar. I don't chase, I attract anyway. So the agritourism side, you could have like a bed and breakfast out there or a place to host events like weddings, parties, things of that nature. And South Carolina, since I'm on the South Carolina side, I believe they said that we were number 2 now, because I think Florida's number 1, but we're gonna get back there. In agritourism. So
when you say agritourism, just want to make sure I get it the right. So it's not a tour per se.
Yeah, you can have farm tours. That's another part of it.
So like you contact somebody or they contact you or they get in contact with you.
With me, it's normally word of mouth or if they see me post something. But as of lately, it's been word of mouth.
So I want to tour. If I want to tour a farm, I contact you, and then from there, what happens?
Well, if you want to tour a farm, I'll just tell you like where you could go tour the farm.
Okay, you're not taking me there though.
No, for me, what I do is I help farmers or people interested in bringing revenue to their space, whether it's an acre, under an acre, or hundreds of acres. And I show them how to basically build and design their agritourism space.
Gotcha.
To bring in more revenue. So basically let the land pay for itself.
But that's in South Carolina too. So you couldn't I guess you could, but you couldn't like come to Georgia and do that.
No, I travel everywhere.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you
mainly in the South. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now. That makes a lot of sense. So if I'm a farmer, I need to contact you, not necessarily a consumer, like me trying to go. If I got land, then I need to get in contact with you to figure out how I'm gonna make this land some money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Even if it's just growing in that space. So that's where the agribusiness side comes from. So even if you just want to grow like a specialty crop that is needed, then we can get you set up with, growing that crop or different things to bring in revenue off that space.
What's an example of that? Like, give me an example of, because I don't know this stuff. I'm just gonna be honest with you. When you say specialty crop, like, am I growing like watermelon or, I don't know, is that crop?
Yeah. If you want to, because what I tell people is like, try to get in a space where it's not heavy, like it's not saturated.
Gotcha.
You want to kind of be the only one in that space to be selling that, so they'll know to come to you. So so if you want to focus on like watermelons or peaches or a specialty corn or something like that, then and then you could do value added products, which is like the jams, the jellies, teas, things of that nature.
So okay, that makes sense. And some of this stuff is like, it could be season based. If I'm not mistaken, right? Some things are just like, some things
are
corn season.
It's
season.
Season. It's seasonal.
Okay. Okay. And then so you would come give the game on that, like the knowledge, and say, well, this season approaching, maybe you want to do this because this season is coming up. You start now. By that time come, you have this. You can make this amount of money. Okay, that's dope.
And I do garden consultations as well. So I have a team of guys that actually build out the garden beds, and then I have a soil analyst as well, but he's in Mississippi right now, but he travels as well. So I've got a few different players here and there.
Soil analyst, that sounds like a dirty job, but it sounds like it's neat. Soil is dirty though, right?
It's soil.
You got soil, you got manure. It's not the same, I know, but I mean,
that's compost.
Compost, that's what it's called. Yeah, I had my fair share of.
But he can amend it. It's different stuff you can do with it. So yeah, I guess you could say it's dirty. I mean, it's farming, so you out the door.
So I know earlier you used the word survivalist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you say that? What do you mean? Because you messaged me that as well. What is that survivalist? What is that?
I don't like to say prepper because preppers got a bad rep of like being crazy or whatever.
You said prepper?
Preppers. Yeah.
Okay, that's the actual term they use for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Prepper, like preparing.
Yes, being prepared.
Got you.
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Yeah, it's something about to go. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, survivalist sound like a much cooler word than
my daddy
prepper.
uses that term. So my daddy says I'm not a prepper. I'm a survivalist. But I try to teach people how to survive and thrive at the same time. You don't want to always be in survival mode. It'll shock your system. So
when you say survivalist, like let's go back to I guess COVID. That's kind of, I mean, you've been in this business for a while, but COVID was probably a time where people wanted to kind of learn how to farm, learn how to grow crops.
Oh, it was a big time for that. I mean, it started really booming during that
grocery
time.
stores empty. Grocery stores empty.
Yeah. When I say survival, I mean like learning how to like harvest animals, tan hides for like clothing, rain catchment, like water catchment systems, how to turn your personal, into soil. So it's called humanure. That's a process.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Whoa. I missed the word that I wrote something down. You said you're personal. You just skipped over the
Yeah.
Okay, that.
Yeah.
That, right?
And you can turn it into soil. It'll take about 18 months, but it can.
Your own compost.
Yeah. From your.
Yeah, I got you. I got that part now. We there. We here on that one.
Yeah.
So you're saying you would show them how to turn that into soil.
Yeah. So basically, if the world shuts down, I train you how to survive through the shutdown and thrive.
But you could, I mean, because I don't know this stuff. I'm just asking. Like I feel like you have to do that a lot. You have to do a lot of that to get soil, or no?
Not
It's
really.
made me think about all the times I loaded a car with soil, like my car, but when I work for a certain company, I loaded a car with soil. I'm thinking this would be a lot of that to make.
Yeah. But I mean, if you got a house full of people.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
It's
You'll
a
be
dirty
fine.
job, man.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're gonna have to live, but because I was talking to Brandy Wallace. I know you say, when I was talking to Brandy Wallace, and she was talking about it like, and I'm saying y'all because that's y'all world profession, y'all know it. And
Brandy's dope.
she was, that was amazing.
Brandy's Brandy, man.
That
She's
was
dope.
amazing.
She's
I
raw.
love that.
I love it.
You dope. Like I don't know this stuff, so like talking to y'all, like to me, even if people like don't like aren't crazy about the interview, I learned so much that it's good for me. I watch them back. I don't watch everything back, but I watch it back a few times. I'm trying to learn still, and you're in the moment, so I'm talking to you, trying to ask questions still, trying to be entertaining for the people watching. But I know as I watch this back, I'm gonna learn more because I'm catching more of what you're saying. But when you talk about like creating your own soil, right? What is the reaction you get when you say that? Like when you tell somebody, like, okay, you can make your own soil if you just everybody in the house go to the bathroom.
Well, I've been talking to people that are more kind of in that space wanting to be in that space.
Gotcha.
So it's not like a big shock to them. They understand where we currently are. And it's almost like, the powers that shouldn't be are pushing us forward and also bringing us back at the same time. So you got to find that balance. But you got to understand that it's something froggy going on right now. And I got to get in the line with it. So they don't really have an issue with it because they know it's something that they have to do. And then they'll go back to say, well, my grandparents did this back during the Depression or during this time. So it's just like, it's all stuff that our ancestors did that is kind of coming back to the forefront through us, through certain individuals. So, so like that, like archery, what else can I think of right now off the fly of my head? So solar, wind, geothermal, power, hydro, different things like that. So you just kind of want to be still rocking when the world's, burning.
You just said a bunch of terms, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just
Sorry.
I might not have seen that smart. Maybe I'm not, I don't know. I feel like I'm in science class. I love science. It challenged me, right? You said, I don't know what the words you just said. Geothermal.
Hydropower, geothermal power, solar.
What are all these things? These car parts?
No, these aren't car parts. These are all like renewable energy sources.
Renewable energy sources. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like basically you're still on while everybody's off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and also like I have a schoolie, which is a bus turned into an RV. So it's like a 40-footer school bus that I gutted out and transitioned into an RV.
And what you use that for? Like another place if something happened?
Yeah.
To be surviving. I don't want to say prepping. Survival.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. I like even the term when you say survivalist versus a prepper or I don't know what you said.
Yeah, prepper.
When you talk about energy and you talking about like a spiritual, like just that word survivalist make me feel like, we doing this to maintain versus we doing this because it's about to be over. Those two words just sound so different to me. So shout out, you said your dad or your grandfather?
My daddy said that.
Yeah, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you also said that you teach classes to the youth. So what do you teach to them? I think it's agricultural, environmental.
So I teach ag and environmental education. So I'm also in the environmental sector too. I told y'all we're about 30 hats.
Yeah, I know.
So
you got a lot of hats.
Yeah.
But you wore the cowgirl one today, so shout out to you for that. But you got a lot more, I'm assuming.
Oh, I do. So I have I created my own homeschool nature academy because I have my children as well and other folks that want to bring their kids in, and I partner with certain organizations that do stuff. Like we'll have financial literacy through different financial organizations that I ran into, and like the stormwater department, things of that nature. Who else do we have in there with us? I have a community garden as well, so I'll be teaching classes there, and it's perfect because it's positioned right behind the elementary school in the area.
You said you just broke ground on that, right? Community garden?
Yeah.
Well, so before I get to community garden real quick, I want to talk about the environmental class. I'm sure they go hand in hand though. But what's the idea behind teaching the youth or even having classes for the youth when it comes to, I know they got science, they got, school, whatever, but what's the idea of you actually teaching them, somebody who knows a lot more, and it being like a hands-on experience, or at least getting more of a heavy but more potent material about whatever? Like, what's the idea behind that for you?
Well, the idea behind it for me is because I don't feel like I'm like super well versed in the area versus like a teacher or somebody that actually went to school for, that particular subject. But my thing is to get them outside and get them more hands-on and get them out of the shell, get them out of the box. Because there are kids like me that didn't want to be in the box all day. And so, but they got to be in the box. So just to bring them outside and get them, more hands-on and kind of like a unschool approach, but you're still teaching them at the same time. But I mostly deal with a lot of homeschoolers, so it's natural to them.
But is it more so them just wanting to do it too? Like, because I would assume that sometimes that make it better. Like, I don't know if you have been somewhere, let's say detention, let's say Saturday school. Like when you forced to go, it's like, I'm just here because I got to be here. But sometimes when you want to go, you learn more because you're open to actually learning. You're open to whatever the person is talking about. You're interested in this, of some sort. And then you got like people around you, so you don't feel let's say even you when you're younger, right? Let's imagine you said that sometimes you might be outcasted or they calling you weird, whatever. You're around people just like you, so you learn better. You learn more without no inhibitions. You're not scared. You're not scared to ask a question. You're not scared to feel like some people they'll draw back, like they're not really involved, so they can seem cool, but they really interested.
I like the young creatives because I see me in them. But I was stifled in a lot of ways. So if I can assist them with just flowing from the time they're jits all the way up, they're gonna blow past a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so that's why I really like the homeschool crowd. I like public school too, but it's a little different to get them in because you have to work the hours, to get them in. But homeschool, I mean, you could pop up with an event during the day and they can come out.
Well, but I know you said you got your own homeschool, right? So what made you start that though? Like what was it that Randy had said, you know what? It's not this in public school at all. I know, I get it. But what was the thing, the idea, the feeling, the energy that you got, that spirit, whatever, that you got, and you was like, I wanna homeschool?
Actually, I wanted to do this since my daughter was like maybe 6 months. So back then I used to watch Doomsday Preppers on Netflix when I was still stationed in Augusta. And one day I just clicked off of it and was on some kind of documentary on YouTube, and it was an Air Force couple that had retired, and they went around in their RV and they taught their kids, like if they were learning about Gettysburg, they actually went to Gettysburg. So if they were learning about Space and Rocket Center, they go to Huntsville or they go to like Houston, Pearland, I think it's on the outskirts of Houston. So I just thought it was neat how they would get to learn and actually step foot where it happened. So I looked at my daughter and I was like, now she was a baby, and I was like, I'm gonna do this one day. We're gonna do this one day. And it took a while to happen, but some things happened at the public school that I didn't like. Kind of had to do the dog and pony show with the school board. So yeah, we decided to pull her out.
I don't want you to get nothing too deep, but
yeah,
I never heard that saying before, so I gotta ask you. Like when you say dog and pony, it might be a country saying. I don't know. I never heard it, but it sounds like
a little show, little tap dance.
Okay,
when,
got you.
They're not really gonna do nothing. It's just.
I got you now.
Yeah.
Okay, I hate that too. I hate it.
Just putting on.
You know what I hate about stuff like that, though, especially when it comes to your kids in school, is because I think, especially when we black too, right? we don't necessarily want to show out. That's not what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes the hands is false because I know for me, I'll be feeling like the powers that be or the people that should make these decisions aren't moving fast enough for me, or with a sense of urgency, or they give me the vibe that it's like, yeah, we'll do this. Then you don't get a call back, or it's like I don't like that.
They CYA.
I don't like what that means. See why?
They cover their own.
Okay. I like you got a lot of knowledge. CYA, okay.
So they like to play, call it dog and pony show. So they like to play those type of games. So no, I never had to show out on them. I just do pop-ups and they be shocked. And then all of a sudden we'd have to like sign in with our driver's license.
You see what I'm saying? You start doing the thing you can do. Now they making rules and
they moved the goalposts, but it's
the
cool.
Kiammie rule. Like you gotta bring your ID now.
It was hilarious. I was like, what the heck? All right, cool, whatever. But so that's what it was. There was a lot of crap going on, but my son has never graced the steps of a public school other than going to pick his sister up.
And I'm not against it. I think, depending on what a person or a parent wants is their preference. I'm not even crazy about. I know some people are crazy about going to a special school or a magnet school or this. Like I had my daughter. She went to a magnet school. She went to a regular school. She been homeschooled. She loved Georgia Cyber Academy. She loves the homeschool. I don't think, she always been smart, but I've seen a big boost when she went to the Georgia Cyber Academy, right? And I'm not dissing any kind of magnet school, whatever you want your kid to go. Some people
whatever works for the child and works for you. I tell people whatever works for you works for you. If you got to put them in public school, you do your thing, man. I'm not gonna knock you. It's too many wars going on, with. This, and this. I do this. The vegans versus the meat eaters and the men versus the women. It's way too much and the world's on fire. And I'm like, can y'all shut up and pay attention to that? So
that's funny.
Yeah. So I just let people groove how they groove, man, because I'm definitely going to groove how I want to. So,
but I feel like, if you're doing your job as a parent anyway, your kid is in good hands. The rest is just guidance, but you hold that main feature and making sure they well mannered, they know how to read, know how to write, they know the basics, and then you go forward from there. School can just help. Yeah. And sometimes I feel
get help though. If I can't handle it, I'll get them a tutor. Or I'll get them somebody that can assist them in that area. Like they go to homeschool co-ops too. So it's not just me. I got a homeschool community around me. So.
But that's dope because I think it's a misconception with homeschooling as well. It's like I'm solely teaching every single thing. It's all me, and that's not. It's still a community. It's just I'm not in the public school.
Yeah, and the socialization thing, and
still can get tutors.
I make jokes all the time. I'm like, these jokers got more on my schedule than I do, on my calendar than I do. They have all kinds of field trips, and they're all educational but fun field trips. We want to learn about the beach. We'll pack up and go to the beach. One of our homeschool buddies will call and say, hey, let's do this thing at the beach, So then we'll go to the beach. And so,
it's just like school though, because school do field trips, you're going to learn about this. Let's go to
we just do a lot more field trips.
But it's more detailed. It's more based around, learning a real true experience too. So that's dope. I mean, it's pros and cons and all of that stuff,
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
I know people like this. I know for me, my daughter, when she wanted to go, I'm like, yeah, but I want you to get your social skills up. That's just one aspect of it, though. You know what I'm saying? It's more life than social, and then you can learn it either way.
Those kids socialize more than public school kids. And my daughter tells my son this all the time. We couldn't talk in school. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. They socialize more than they have homeschool, skate. They just had a Valentine's Day party last month. So, I mean, they socialize. We also do things with a local nature club there. So we hike.
Okay.
We go hiking. So
yeah. I mean, I'm saying things that just misconception because this is my thought. I thought she's gonna stunt her growth and talking. But the truth be told, even I think myself, and I don't know, even you when you're saying you're in a shell when you're younger anyway, until you get older and you start making your own decisions. And regardless of what, some come out earlier due to the peer pressure and things of that nature. But some people, no matter what, you could be in the most talkative high school, least talkative school, whatever, you ain't coming out that shell until you ready as a person, So I definitely I just like when you talk about that, the homeschooling and the misconception, because as somebody that's doing this, and even for you saying like, if I don't know something, I get it to it. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's people that have a master's degree and they have 15, 20 students in their class.
They can't teach.
And 5 of them, well, hold on. I wasn't going to go there, but that could be true. I was actually going to say that they may not be able to get to them 5, 6 students in that class.
The teachers are overburdened now. I take my hat off to them because, oh my goodness. I taught like, I don't know if you heard about the 1970s riots in Augusta.
Yeah.
So I taught
downtown
a little, I guess you could say, I gave them some information on it at, I'm not going to say the high school, but a certain high school. And man.
If I guess, can you say if I was right or wrong or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's in Augusta?
Mm-hmm.
Laney? I knew it. I started thinking the most bougie high school, but go ahead.
God bless those teachers. Because these are some different kids. But these are different times, so I can't really put it all on them. These are very weird, crazy, chaotic times.
Yeah.
But they were very rude to an elder whose brother was actually murdered in the riot, and I had to kind of be like, oh, now y'all playing. So I asked the teachers, I said, how far can I take this thing? And they were like, take it far. So I was like, dang, they must be wearing y'all down. But it was, it was kind of rough at first. And I just told them, hey, y'all that don't want to listen, y'all can go up that way. Go up to the top of the bleachers and just do your thing. I don't really care. I just want the ones in the front that want to learn, right? So I think we had 4 classes come through there, 4 different classes. I think 2 seniors, 2 junior classes. And I didn't think I got through to any of them, but then some of them the hands started going up. It was almost like it was okay now to talk. But at first it wasn't okay to talk because all the negativity and that peer pressure, I don't want to say nothing because,
Yep.
And then it was like, and then I would just start
I don't want to seem interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it be.
And they came to me afterwards and talked to me about certain things. Some of them wanted to do, surf. And I was like, start here. You can start now. You don't have to wait. That's what I learned in Europe. The kids over there, they don't wait till they're 18. They're already doing stuff.
I went and talked to I went to talk to Josie the other day, and I guess the person before me didn't get. It was some rude kids, and she had freshmen too. So we wasn't expecting freshmen that day, but they had a testing that day, so things just changed. Mm-hmm. I changed my whole speech. I just connected with them on life because I'm older, but I'm still younger, and I have so much ties to that because of sports and stuff. I knew how to talk to them, and I realized even the popular person in the class started asking me questions and talking back, which made people in the class.
Yep.
And you start to see how that. When you're younger, in school, you don't see it, but you start to see, okay, well, I said, you popular, ain't you? She was like, no. And I asked my, she popular? They said, yeah, she's lying, she's popular. But I realized when she started to engage, everybody thought it was okay.
Everybody was okay, yeah.
I said, they freshmen, they young. They ain't there yet, But I had a good conversation with them. I felt like, but yeah, you never know you're getting through to them until afterwards. I got reached out to by one of them, and I told the teacher, hey, this person reached out to let you know because they're young. Want to make sure, this is
one of them asked me for my number, and I was like, I don't think I can do that. So
I just get my email.
Yeah, so I said, well, tell your aunt to find me on Facebook because she said my aunt wears crystals like you and all this stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. Just tell your aunt to reach out to me because I didn't like you said you didn't know.
Yeah, it's fickle.
Yeah. So
I just think the youth and I like that you teach youth classes because my daughter's somebody that like she be one day interested in something. I'm like, damn, who can I get to talk about this? Or she might be interested in stuff and I don't know because I think in urban society at least, we don't speak of farming and stuff like that. We go to a farm, take a picture, haha, a little pig, a little this, a little that, but not really learning a lot of stuff. But that stuff is stuff we need for survival. And it's interesting just in general. And then a lot of the kids be interested in it, but they don't want to speak on it because it's not the popular thing to talk about, So yeah, I thought that was pretty dope that you said that. But I want to talk about the
even foster kids.
Foster kids.
So I teach a class to a group of children that are and I teach them agricultural skills and things like that. So at first I had to break the ice with a few of them, but they're good kids, and it was actually funny because I remember the last class I did, they were like, "Oh, we got her, yes," and I was like, "Oh man, y'all actually like me." Wow, I didn't even think they would because it was a few of them that were like, "Ah, this is boring," you know. But even then, they started to be like, "Okay, I want to plant something," you know. But
well, speaking of planting, now I want to get into your community garden. So talk about that a little bit. Like, what went into you wanting to make a community garden? What is it? What it's about? I know you said you got a community garden in a food desert in Aiken.
yes,
Why Aiken?
so because I reside
Okay.
in Aiken County now.
Can I? Oh, yeah, I ask you up here. I want to ask you. How, don't answer now. I'm just gonna ask. I'm just going right there. I want to ask you. What are your thoughts on people that live in Aiken? But I'm gonna ask you off camera.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I have my own theory, but go ahead. I love Aiken.
Yeah, we'll talk offline.
I love Aiken, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. So what about the community garden? I love Aiken, by the way. I do love it, but it's just some funny acting.
It's an interesting place.
To say the least, yes, definitely.
Just like Augusta. I think more people over here are funny acting, but
nah, we're not gonna do that. No, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I worked out there for 2 years, and I just felt like I'd never been somewhere where, like, honestly, sometimes the questions I gotta ask, I'm like, why are you asking me that? I felt like it was just I was in the Jordan Peele movie sometimes. I felt, and not like some racy stuff. It was cool for the most part. It just the nature of the question they would ask me, I thought was off. Like, is that a serious question you asking me? Okay, I guess you are serious. And this people I work with, not just customer, just anywhere I went, I'm like, I always felt like this. I could spot if they were from Aiken or if they were just from Augusta.
A transient.
Yeah, I knew a real Aikenite. I don't know if that word. I'm making it down a word now, but
oh no, that's what I call them.
Aikenite. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Aikenites, Aikenites. But yeah, if you was an Aikenite, I kind of knew. I said, "You from Aiken, ain't you?" They didn't know when I said that. That was like my way of saying it makes sense now, but it was fine. But yeah. So your community garden. What went into that, and how long did that take for you to do? Like, was it a wake up impulse thing, or was it something you've been wanting to do all your life? Or
it's something I wanted to do for a while, and I was actually assisting another guy with a community garden about an hour and a half from here, maybe an hour 45 minutes in past Columbia.
Okay,
and once that contract was finished, I kind of transitioned to like I'm helping everybody else but myself. I have my own dreams. I need to start making sure that I'm walking in alignment with what I'm supposed to do. So I ended up speaking to the city. I had some help though. Had a lot of help from different people in Aiken. And we ended up getting gifted the spot. And that was back, I want to say September of last year. We didn't know until, maybe January, February, that somebody didn't want the garden there.
it's always barriers for us. Well, for people.
He's an interesting little entity. But it went through. So, it wasn't a heavy process. It was actually kind of smooth. And crazy that somebody had tried to block it from when it first came into fruition, but myself and others also kind of did a little prayer of covering over it. So every day. So I think that might have been kind of held it together instead of it falling through. But we got to the person, and so I mean it went smooth. I just got donated some more beds.
Okay.
Compost. Things of that nature.
Like when you say donated, where you going to? Are you going to your like your local like Home Depot, Lowe's, or are you going to
just different places,
okay.
different organizations, different people?
If you don't mind, like where is it at?
It's in Aiken. I'll tell you offline.
Okay, I got you. Is it something that it's a community garden? So is it open to the community, or is it just?
Yeah, it's open to the community. It just happens to be kind of backed up to the school, so it's near the school, which is awesome because the kids can just come down there.
So is the idea behind it more so for community gardening, like far as them getting food or?
It is for the community. Like, I literally want to, set it up, design it, get it going, get the program running for it. But I help people that actually live in that community that are plugged and played in different positions because that's theirs. You know what I mean? I'm just there to kind of get it started, get it going, make sure it keeps running smooth, but it's theirs. They have to sustain it.
Who runs it? Like the community or like?
Yeah, the community will run it, but it's certain people I put in certain places to be able to make sure it runs smooth.
Just a question, because I know a few people, I don't know if you're even interested in this or not, but like if somebody just wanted to, like, that's something they interested in. They interested in the agricultural field and or just, I'm saying farming, but I know I'm using that word wrong sometimes when I really think about what a farm is. And so I'm going to say agriculture. I'm learning that now through you, so thank you very much.
Yeah, it's just like an umbrella, just ag, just say agriculture.
Ag. When I say ag, I think aggravated though, so, but I guess
you
it can be. I guess
it can get very aggravating.
But I asked that, so what is that? Is it something where someone can come to you saying, "Yeah, I'm interested in doing this, Would they be able, or would you be able to use that as a way for them to learn some stuff, or no? Like that's not what you're trying to do, or I know people that would love to come and probably help you do something, at least to get the ball rolling on the agricultural field, just in get some hands-on experience. That's all. Not like you gotta.
If they want to volunteer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not like intern, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to volunteer, yes.
Okay. I wondered that 'cause I know a few people, and I know when I put this out, I'm gonna send it to them and say, hey, go to hour and 6 minutes. Talk about this, that, and third, because some people want to do it and they don't have that in their backyard. They don't have no pets, no animals. They don't have no soil. I guess everybody got soil, I guess, technically speaking, but they don't know how to make their own soil and like that. So they want to be able to go somewhere where they can, it's inviting, and then two, they can learn from people and peers, things of that nature. So I think that's just dope. So now that I know that, I can kind of send some people your way.
Yeah, and if they want to build their own space, my goal is to help as many people as I am led to help by teaching them how to sustain themselves. You got to be self-contained with what's coming. It's already partially here. So my goal is just to teach people how to do that. And if we can do that by implementing your own garden spaces in your area, in your backyard, on your porch, on your balcony, if you're in an apartment. Like, I do consultations anywhere. Everywhere I see a space where you can possibly grow, that's what you can do. You don't need acres and acres of land to sustain yourself. You could even go in with somebody and buy a cow. Like, get it processed, and then y'all can split the meat, or you could buy one by yourself. So,
well, I'm not trying to throw nobody at them. Just saying, if you want to buy a cow, reach out to me. I'm gonna send them to Brandy Wallace because she found good deals on cows. She bought $50 one time. And I started thinking about how much milk costs $50 from the store.
Oh, I don't drink milk.
So. I don't drink it either, but I know people drink it though.
Yeah.
And I started thinking like, damn. I wonder, like, and you can get more from a cow than just milk, I'm assuming, too. So, well, let me ask you that question.
It depends. It's a dairy cow.
What all can you get from a cow? Like, what makes a cow profitable, if you even know?
Well, you have different cuts. You got, like, the brisket. Crap, now you're going to make me. See, I ain't really well versed on the bovine side.
Well, I only asked that question. I wasn't talking about killing it. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking, I'm talking about it being alive. What can we do?
Oops.
What can we do with a live cow to make some money?
I mean, a petting zoo like Brandy has. Dairy cow, you can get the milk from it. I mean, the other cow, you don't have to kill it.
You got the cat. See, you got the cowboy hat on. You thinking about,
you don't have to.
But I asked that because I know. Also, you said in the message you said, some environmental practices as well. If you can, like, what are some and why are they important to know?
Because you want to know what's going on with your water, your soil, and the air quality, all of that stuff. So,
the stuff people don't be caring about, but they need to care about.
Yeah, like when I go into the environmental space, it is more on the advocacy side. So I'm just not really doing like a lot of boots on ground with it. Like I can test the so I took a course to get certified to test the stream waters throughout Aiken County. So I can test the water for contaminants.
What you find?
With the streams.
What'd you find? I know you tested some already. What'd you find? I know you tested some already.
We'll chat offline.
Yeah, see? I knew something was in the water in Aiken. I already knew it. But I love Aiken still.
You ain't getting me here.
I didn't drink no water there. I always brought something to drink when I went
Actually, I feel like Augusta's more contaminated than Aiken.
I don't know.
No, it's like a bowl of toxins here. Like seriously, from all the plants and everything.
Oh, like okay.
I used to like kind of do a few things with the river keeper here. So she's dope too.
The river keeper,
Tanya Barnabas.
Oh, my mom named Tanya.
I think that's how you say her name. Yeah, Savannah River Keeper. So I chat with different river keepers in different states, like Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia.
What's the importance to them? Like when you say, that sounds like it's an important person. I never heard this thing before. River keeper.
Yeah, because they're the ones that, manage the rivers, make sure that they're clean. They do cleanups and, they alert the people when pollutants are high in the water, like different stuff like that. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Environmental stuff and ag goes hand in daggum hand.
If I'm not mistaken, if I am, just let me know. I don't know. I don't know everything, but I know it's something downtown. Been there one time. I want to say it's a museum. It's not a museum. It's kind of like you can go there. It is a museum, but you can go there and take a little boat ride. But they tell you about, it's like whatever water well we got here, something like that. The
aquifers?
Electricity. It goes hand in hand with electricity. I can't think of what it was or where it was at. But they send you on.
Was it like a hydro system?
Kind of, yeah, something like that.
And it had like wheels. Yeah. That's hydropower.
Okay. Well, I guess for a while the power was going through there or something. I just happened to so I thought it was interesting. It's just something to do. But yeah. Okay. So it's a river keeper. I gotta make sure I write that down. It's a river keeper.
She's in Augusta. She's dope.
She black, white?
She's a white girl. Okay. She's cool. Grew up in South Augusta all her life.
Why you saying she's cool?
Well, I'm just saying she's cool. She grew up in South Augusta all her life. So
I'm cool with everybody. I don't, I when I do more than masters, my main purpose really is like for anybody that didn't know you but they like the page, they know they know what I'm about at this point. The interviews I got, so you're gonna learn something, and then even if because I think the first I like to know people. So even though I learned more about agriculture and stuff, the last 30, I like the first 30 well, 'cause I got to know about you. And then now when you speak about certain things, it make more sense to me. I'm able to like visualize it because I know where you came from and what you've been through. But I've always tried to do that. I don't like to jump into something because unless you've been on here 5 times already, then
Yeah. And then it's not really, it doesn't set the tone right when you don't do that. So you're flowing, and that's how it's supposed to. You came through the gate flowing, and that's how it's supposed to be without it being like I'm just, all right.
And
I'm just interviewing this person.
I really try to not ask too many questions when I first start, because then I feel like sometimes subconsciously I know the answer, so I won't ask it again. I won't, and so I try to ask like questions that I know I'm gonna ask already, just to get the guests, warmed up and stuff. But I definitely feel like I like to learn through my interview. So when you reached out, I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna do it because one, I'm doing women this month anyway. So, but then two, I felt like from what you could tell somebody passionate about what they do. Sometimes when somebody messaged me, I could tell when they just wanted to be seen.
But see, remember what I told you?
On the phone?
On the phone.
But you hit me up before?
Yeah. At that point in time, I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for it.
At that time though.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get like 1,000 messages like that. I'm not trying to big myself up. I don't remember, but I remember you saying it yesterday on the phone, and I remember you saying you kind of found this podcast through the Josh Sherrill episode.
Yeah, Josh. I think what is it, Sherrill Pest Control? Yeah, and then met him. It was so weird because I met him like shortly after at a gas station, and he just bebopped out his big truck and started talking to me, and I was like, all right, this dude's cool. All right.
Very cool dude, man.
Yeah, he's very cool.
His energy and spirit is great. I like
he's a little ball of energy. I'm telling you, like, I was coming out the store, like, minding my business.
Super supportive, and don't mind talking to you.
And he just came out of nowhere and was like, what's up, girl? And we just started, like, we even did the networking night that they would hold at the Elks.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, Josh is cool. Cool people. I've met some really dope people in Augusta, and I've met some snakes in Augusta. So
definitely.
Josh is a good person. So his episode is what drew me to you. So, but at the time I was not ready.
Yeah.
And I really didn't have my boots on ground like how I should have. And I was trying to do more because people were taking from me. So I was trying to be seen. It wasn't in a good light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's like when people take stuff from me, business-wise, ideas, intellectual property, I just pivot. And then I don't even do it anymore because now it's like, I don't even need to do that no more. Now I'm going to do this.
Yeah. But I feel like everything is timing too. So I know sometimes people get mad if I don't respond either fast enough or I might not, like, I don't say no to nobody. I just, sometimes I'm in a different space. Everything is live. So like, I'm like going to a restaurant and it's fresh cooked to order. That's how I feel my interviews is. Like, I don't give you no questionnaire sheet and throw it to you and say,
it's raw.
Yeah, because we could talk about, I don't know what we might talk about. You know, it just depends on the vibe, the energy, the spirit in the room. And I like that way, but I also feel like, you know, I like to give people the light where it benefits them as well. I don't want nobody on here and then they look silly or they look like they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm putting it out and it's like, yeah, and on one foot, it's just whatever. But on the second foot, on the other foot, it's like, I want the person to also benefit from this as well. I want somebody to, like you seen Josh, you said, oh, yeah, start talking. I want that. I want somebody to see you. Oh, I saw you on More Than Math. I like that. You know, I want people to be able to network. I want somebody to reach out to you after this because they want to know more about this, but I might then ask that question. I want to know these things, you know. That's what I like.
And you have to care.
100%.
Because if you have the wrong energy here, not saying that it would sully your name, but you don't want to be attached to it. You get what I'm saying? Because you've worked hard for where you're at.
Very hard, yeah.
So you don't want to be, you know, attached to the wrong thing. It's no different than somebody saying, "Get me a job over here," but you know they ain't crap. You know they're gonna just be messing it up, and then your name gonna be messed up. You know, so you gotta be careful who you have step into your space.
And I think, and I've used the term a lot. So when you said it today, it was just funny. The term bougie. I think sometimes people look at things that way because they feel like, oh, you think you're better. It's not that. It's just I really have something.
I do think I'm better. Why wouldn't you think you're better?
Sense, not better than them personally, but
no,
I do
not
think that
better than who I was. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Better than who I am. When I say that, I do not mean that because everybody has their own stuff. They have their own spirit,
100%.
their own right, you know.
100%.
So.
And, you know, I be wanting them to know, like, well, you know, I didn't just start. I didn't just start yesterday. I've been doing it since 2016. That's 8 years now, you know what I'm saying? So when you build a rapport, so it's certain things you just not gonna. I want to come on because that person said no. I never did that. I never had somebody on because person A said X about you. You can't come on because of that. You have to have something going on, and if you want to address that somehow, some way, that's on you.
And you said that. Remember, that's what I was talking to you about. I said I wasn't walking in that passion then.
Yeah.
Because you literally, that was one of your posts I remember, and I said, remember I told you. It triggered me, but it triggered me in a good way because that made me do what I needed to do internally and physically. It was like, all right, you can't be playing because that was your boundary. For me, I figured that was, okay, that's his boundary, and that's cool because I hear him. You know what I'm saying?
Was it the clip when I was saying that, how can you get on More Than Masters? Was it that clip?
I think it was, but it was, I think it was a post attached to it or maybe like a caption to it, but it was... Yeah, and I said, okay, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It triggered me, but not like, oh, screw him. You know what I mean? Not like that, because we're Facebook friends too. Yeah. So, and I be cracking up on your post. But it was just like, I hear you. Like I got it now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, I was so worried because people that had the resources were taken from me. And then I see my stuff, even at big organizations in Augusta.
Yeah. That's how the big fish gonna eat.
Big ones.
They gonna eat every time.
Every time.
And they don't care how they do it.
I was they had a conference thing, right? And I'm not gonna expose them because they're gonna soon be exposed without me even doing anything. I was at a conference that they were having. We were eating at the table. As they got to talking about all their services and how they conducted business, everybody at that table turned around and looked at me because they knew whose stuff it was. You know how I used to write notes in church and pass them? That's what they were doing on the table, passing to me. And I was like, yep. Yep,
funny.
I know where that came from. So I wasn't in the right space then. So I knew when I saw that post, it was time to reach out to you. And I normally don't. This is my first time doing this.
We did great. You did a good job.
Thank you. This
Speak
is my
well,
first
yeah.
time doing this. Like, I don't really, because I almost wanted to go into a shell because of stuff that just kept happening over this past 2 weeks. So, but I can't because I'm not supposed to be in a shell. I was held as a child. I was held back as a child. That's why I fight for the youth now, the creative ones, to be able to do what they want to do. My daughter's an artist. She used to go to Jesse Norman on a scholarship. I don't stifle my kids because I was stifled. You know what I mean? I could have took off years ago if I wouldn't had somebody holding me back and putting roadblocks purposefully in my way.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the youth, because we're adults. Adults are stubborn. They're already stuck in their ways sometimes.
All the time.
So I like to deal with the babies because the babies are listening. If you're a little quirky and weird like they are, as an adult, they get it. Like they feel it. So it's okay to be themselves. Yeah. So that's why I focus on the babies.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. And I think that's what you got to start. You got to start early, start them young, because like if not, they'll learn off what they see. Sometimes that's not the best way to learn all the time. Sometimes just when you get older, but and then like we talked earlier about the whole popularity thing, and if they see in a certain group do this, they think that's the norm. They think that's to do that. So even if it's dope how you said, you saw the wrong here, you're able to come up through a different lens than most people. Your complexion, So even when we give the attention to the youth, and they're not used to getting that, or they getting it from the right source, the right people that actually care, not just somebody that want a job. It does wonders. It does wonders. I was talking to a teacher the other day, and I told him, I said, when I was younger, I never thought about how it didn't make me feel no way, but as I got older, I started thinking about it. A lot of teachers there, when they get upset, they'll be like, "Oh, well, I got my degree. I want to make you feel like they don't care about you, like like you got to do whatever you want." But somebody that care ain't never gonna say that. They somebody that care, they're gonna take their time with you. They're gonna invest with And I think a lot of times we need those extracurricular activities, extra field trips. The communities, the community garden, the environmental classes. That's just it could be extra on the side, whatever. But you need those. And
you also need and I keep saying creatives because right now it's a time, and I told my buddy and we laughed and I said, it's almost like the revenge of the nerds. Like we're back, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you're in that space, you don't hold that same contempt that others hold because you were that kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you were
definitely.
that kid. So you're going to come a whole nother way than that.
Yeah.
The field trips, I'd be on the swings and stuff with the kids, going crazy with them. So it's like that. And I knew my son couldn't touch just because of his spirit. Like he knew too much even as a baby, so he would have been bored or disruptive as they would have called it because he'd have been bored, so.
And that's the thing, you mentioned like, revenge of nerds and stuff like that. It's funny because kids do be bored. And sometimes you're trying to figure out why they misbehaving in school. Why. Well, they could be in the wrong school setting. It could be in the school is moving too slow for them, moving too fast for them, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's all different, attributes to that. And they could be doing something that it's not their calling. They're bored with that. Not saying homeschooling is going to be the way for everybody, because that could bore them as well. You know what I'm saying? Not saying put them in a magnet school, because that could bore them. It depends on what's going on. But
you got to find out what works for the kid.
You got to find that niche for your kid.
And that's it.
And be truthful about it. Because I think a lot of parents sometimes too, not 100% truthful about how their child is. Oh,
I knew mine couldn't. He couldn't.
But just knowing, because some kids be like, some parents they'll take offense to you even saying, "Oh, your kid is too sensitive." What you mean? You know that man's sensitive.
I got some nature babies. I call them wild thornberries. I don't know if you remember that TV
the cartoon.
show. And he is. People in public are like, "Oh, they're so women." I'm like, wait till we get them home. They're feral, And he actually, I let him watch Wild Thornberries. He was like, "Oh man, I do act like Dunny." I'm like, "Yeah." And my daughter's like, "And Mama, you have like an RV like that." I'm like,
you sure do. You said that, yeah.
Yeah, y'all literally the Wild Thornberries.
So in the school bus, do you actually go in there all the time, or just every now and then?
It's still being built out.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm actually going to a workshop. One of my Military Buddies is hosting in April. She's dope. She's badass. She's built 2 buses.
Okay.
Single mom. Jessica's dope. So we're going up there to kind of like work on some more stuff, and so we can teach other folks how to build out buses and things of that nature. So it's still in the process because I want to do it as sustainable as I can. So I'm still kind of researching different materials because it was like, oh, this material works, and you find out it don't work,
Yeah.
So you got to go here, you got to go there. So
I do got one question. So about the farm. So I know you said it's an urban farm, right? So when you say urban farm, what does that mean?
So it's basically like a farm in an urban area. Like it could be in your backyard, the city, somewhere like a city plot or, somewhere in town. But I guess I would say an urban homestead. So mine is more of an urban homestead.
Okay.
So yes, until I'm very picky. So I'm all about strategic location.
Got you.
So that's why I have not put my stamp on land. Like I've literally almost closed on land, and then they told me I couldn't do something on it at last minute. I was like, nope. Like,
did that happen a lot in agriculture? Or like you be damn near 75, 60, 80% through with something, and it's like some little wrench. Oh no, we can't do this because of that. Is that happening often?
Yeah, it depends on who you're dealing with too.
Does it depend on who you're dealing with, or it depends on who's dealing with you? It's good. You ain't gotta answer that. It's just one of them things you're just gonna throw out.
I think both.
I can see that.
I think both.
Okay.
Sometimes people try to play you when they think you don't know certain stuff.
Definitely.
And then sometimes you need to research a little bit more because you might not know.
I like that. See, I like how you do that. You got like a nice balance there.
Have to be balanced. Dude, I'm a Gemini. It takes a lot to be balanced. I don't want to be Kanye. You know what I mean? I love Ye, but I don't want to be Kanye, And Pac even said it. We can be focused and boring and very into our work, or we can be dangerous, and that's for everybody, even me and them, So, no, I have to have a balance because I have babies too. And also being in the holistic world, the other side doesn't really like holistic stuff. So,
Gotcha.
or as my buddies say, the matrix side. But I dwell in both because there's no way out of it as of yet. So you gotta keep a balance in all things. That's why people say, "Are you vegan?" No, I'm not vegan. I just eat balance. I eat what I want to eat. If I don't want to eat meat, I don't eat meat. If I want to eat meat, I'm gonna eat meat.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. Look, this was dope talking to you. I feel like I learned a lot, and I love and I learn a lot because it made me anxious to want to edit the podcast and go back and listen to it, in its right form. Tell people they can find you at if you want to put your social media out there. I don't know if you do or don't. I don't know how you want to do it, but
Instagram, I'm at Melanated Earth Steward. So that is MELANATED Earth Steward. So that's all together.
Okay.
And I'll send you my email so maybe you can put it,
at the bottom or something like that.
On there. I work kind of a case-by-case basis. All money isn't good money to me, so I like to kind of send me an email. I like to kind of get a feel for the energy first before I do anything with them. And if I don't want to help them or can't, I'll get them somebody else that can.
That's dope. At least you don't just say no and leave them hanging,
No, I'll find them somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Look, I appreciate you coming through. I learned a lot. I know the people going to learn a lot. I know it's going to be a dope episode. Wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Especially
Gratitude
you out there
for
aching, you know what I'm saying? So just be safe out there.
Oh, always, man. I'm straight. I like to go to I like to hang with Bailey's Ballistics. So.
Oh, there you go. Hey, there you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm straight, man. I'm cool.
All right, man. Morning Masters Podcast. We out. Appreciate you.